4 months with Hassan, smiling face with hearts, seems good as hish. Love ya Hassie. Hassle. Communist revolution soon? Hassle. It's me Bernie. That's right. I am once again asking for you to financially support your favorite hippo. At only 2 cents an hour we need to keep our champagne socialist happy. Stay golden and have a good day. Pogu. Thanks for keeping me company while being kicked out of my home and keeping me entertained while moving out. Feels okay, man. Has right, has weird, has left. Two months besties. Let's go comments. Yo, I love you, dude. Been here for 2 years and will be here for many more to come. Hassle. Morning chat, I love you, say it back. What's a gamers?
What's going on, everybody?
My cousin just passed away suddenly in a car wreck. I know you don't want to hear it, but I have nobody else to tell. I love you, chat. Thanks for being my happy place.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Exclamation mark subbed since quarantining now.
What's going on, everybody? Okay, I'm turning off. That's the new world record on turning off donos. All right. What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the Hasanabi broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles. We are live once again, folks, boys, girls, MBs. What? Talk about Milo. Who the fuck is Milo? All right, I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna ban you. I'm in no mood today. Okay. What's this person? Joe Cha? Joe Hotch? Joe HACO2. Okay. Nope. Just. Okay. Anyway, where were we? What's going on, boys? I hope everyone's having a great day. It is today is Wednesday, March 10th, 2021, 11:15 a.m. and I am pretty early in comparison to when I'm usually on. I hope everyone's having a great day. It is really sunny here, but if you look at the temperatures on the internet, you would think that it's raining currently. It's actually not. It's very sunny where I'm at. I don't know if it's very rainy in other places in California, but it's super sunny in California, Los Angeles right now. Milo got conversion therapy? Wait, really? Okay, I'll unban them then. Okay, my bad. I thought that there was like, I thought there was some fucking drama, like really intricate, really detailed, like Mike from PA debated Vosh on like fucking Milo Yiannopoulos or some shit type deal. So I just immediately banned them without even fucking trying to figure out what they were saying, especially because they were spamming it. Anyway. He's ex-gay now? Okay, that's pretty funny. We'll take a look at that. All right, this is the part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news, like what's going on in my life. But there isn't really much going on in my life outside of the fact that I am, obsessed with playing Grand Theft Auto Roleplay, constantly playing that, starting to feel a little burnt out by it because I'm like really into it and I really love playing it, but I feel like it's my streaming. The content is like suffering a little bit. Like it's great, and I think I've brought a lot of people into the No Pixel community from my audience who now are like diehard role-playing fans, but like they've left they've left the channel and they've gone and are now watching roleplay. And also at the same time, I feel like there's a bunch of members in my community that are feeling a little fatigued by roleplay. So, my hair is out of control already. I just got a fucking haircut, and my beard is crazy too. I have to change that. You get 13 to 18k for roleplay. The RP frogs aren't leaving. It's the 90-day in politics, Andes. Yeah, I know. Well, the 90 days is just not happening. Like I don't care if that feels like a punishment to the community because they just like want to fucking watch reality television. Like it's just not happening anytime in the near future. I'm just letting you guys know that even if I move away from No Pixel eventually to something else, like it's not going to be to fucking 90 day. Okay, so chill out. Like I said, I'm gonna do it in the new year, but like, anyway. Okay. We want to see fantasy RPG style game, perhaps a tabletop one? No, I'm not gonna do fantasy RPG tabletop. I don't know what new games are coming out. But we'll take a look at that. Also, most of EU leaves at that time because it gets too late. Related to GPA, they're resetting everyone's level and stripping them to their money if they participated in the maze bank. Power cell glitch? What? What do you mean resetting everyone? What the fuck? I don't even know what that means. What? Anyway. Have you checked out Valheim? It's kind of like Viking Rust with bosses. Yeah, I haven't, but it seems fun. Anyway, tonight we are going to today I'm going to do politics. I'm going to do some I'm going to do politics now. After that, I'm going to do a little bit more reaction stuff potentially. And then after that at 6 p.m. I have to go into I'm going to be doing a show with Will, actually. Hive Mind. I'm going to be on Hive Mind today. Right now, as we're speaking, the House is voting on the Stimmy, by the way. And I believe they might have actually voted for it already. Well, no, they haven't yet.
The Democrats saw fit to put into this bill a requirement that you have.
Yeah, as we are talking, the House is passing the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill, handing Biden his first major win, ladies and gentlemen.
That will now work its way
this
to the White House
is a historic
for the president's
bill,
signature.
so let's get to it.
Leanne Caldwell is still with us on Capitol Hill. And Leanne, I do note that you said that there was one Democrat who did not vote in favor of this bill. I think it was Representative Golden from Maine. What do we know about his thinking as this has gone from the House to the Senate, back to the House, and now been approved?
Well, this is the second time Representative Golden has opposed this legislation. He did the first time it came to when the House brought it up as well. Representative Golden has actually been consistently voting on some issues against on the opposite side of Democrats with the Republicans, including on this legislation. He comes from a very, swingy district, so it feels like he is following the wishes of his constituents, and he says that this legislation is just too large, not targeted.
Love that, dude. I love this audio for a professional news broadcast. It's pretty fucking awesome when you hear like literally everything going on in the background. Mute the other tabs, brother. Not only are you telling me or are you telling NBC? Like, they literally have the other tab playing and the most echo you can get.
Were made in the Senate version of the bill. Of course, in the Senate, the minimum wage was taken out. The unemployment insurance extension, federal benefit was reduced from $400 to $300 a week. And also the income cap on the direct stimulus checks was reduced from $199,000 to $160,000 for a couple.
I can't even listen to it. It's really bad. It's really fucking bad. Anyway, I am live. We're talking politics. 1.9 trillion. Give me passes. The game show IRL or an RP? I'm still confused about this. No, I am going to be attending a game show in Twitch. Okay, not in Grand Theft Auto Roleplay. In Twitch, called Hive Mind. It's like Family Feud, and I need your help. Okay. You do it with your chat. You do it with your community. I need my community to win this fucking game. I'm going to be going against Austin, the Botes sisters, and also another streamer. The show is hosted by Charlie, a.k.a. Moist Critical, and also Will Neff. instead of Ludwig. I think the show was originally created by Ludwig and Moist, but Ludwig has been sick, so that's why I am.
All right, the White House press briefing just wrapping up there with Jen Psaki.
I am going to be playing against, Austin and the Botha sisters and one other person. And Charlie and Will are going to be hosting it.
Plan, the COVID relief bill that had been working its way through Congress. And of course, as expected, that bill did pass in the House after passing in the Senate over the weekend. And as we understand it from the White House press briefing, this bill will now be printed, literally printed in its entirety and taken to the White House. That likely to happen sometime tomorrow. And the press secretary indicated that President Biden is going to sign that bill into law sometime Friday afternoon. Of course, the big question after that becomes, when will people start to see those $1,400 checks, stimulus checks we've talked so much about over the last several weeks? The expectation is that the IRS will be able to work with the Treasury Department in rolling out those payments by the end of this month. Of course, the news continues here on NBC News Now, right after this.
Okay. It's actually kind of good as far as music goes, like surprisingly. Anyway, we will talk about all of that in a second, but okay. Wait, let's see what ABC News is talking about.
World, people can relate to this, somebody trying to find their true love.
Bro, I didn't know that ABC like literally straight up had The View. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that they just, like, play literally The View. Every time I see it on their live stream, I'm surprised. Like, why the fuck do they do that? Someone said Snoop. Brother, Snoop Dogg is, like, I would say 100 pounds lighter than... Is this Eddie Murphy? I can't even tell. Like, it kind of looks like Eddie Murphy. You know what it looks like? It looks like the vibes of Eddie Murphy. Is it actually Eddie Murphy? Bro, Eddie Murphy looks so different now. Holy shit. Dude, a lot of older actors just, if they go away for a while, it's not him. Oh, it is him. Oh my God, it's literally him. Okay, if you told me like this is not Eddie Murphy, I'd be like, I believe you. I'm not kidding. Like, one thing that actors do, if they go away for a while and then they fucking make a return between the ages of like 40 and 60, they come back looking very different. He looks, yeah. I mean, dude. He's turning 60 next month. Yeah. Dave Chappelle looks so different. I don't think Dave Chappelle looks different. He just looks kind of, he had the Dr. Dre treatment. Like, Dave Chappelle did the Dr. Dre where he fucking got super jacked. He's using them baby DNA, brother. Yeah, when he smiles, you can kind of tell. I feel like a lot of black celebrities do this, where they just like move away from the spotlight when they get older, and then they just come back jacked as fuck, dude. Like, just super fucking jacked. It's because his hairline, LeBron. Okay, that could be it. Did you see this Sinatra situation and DeFrance's tweet about it? No, I don't know what the fuck that is. There's a guy on TikTok making a Ben Shabibo musical, lots of short jokes. I'm a politics frog, so please don't ban me. No, I'm not gonna ban you, weirdo. People I ban. I don't ban people for being like I don't ban people for saying or leaving when I fucking go and play other shit. I ban people for being like, this fucking sucks. You are my servant. Do what I ask you and do what I want you to do. You can cap me all fucking day. But oftentimes I ban people because they're being dickheads. Like, no, I haven't tweeted out yet. I'm going to right now. I'll tweet it out now. Oh, here's some news from Texas.
Have not had a chance to reopen since June of 2020. However, when I talk to the majority of owners, they say that as excited as they are to kind of be back in business per se, they're also still very cautious as well. Aaron?
So, Morgan, you mentioned these business owners you've talked to. I mean, these new rules are forcing a lot of these small businesses, as you mentioned, to come up with their own rules. Do you get the impression that they're in the minority or in the majority?
You know, I think that'll depend on where you are in Texas. However, here in Dallas, and at least for the major metropolitan areas that we've been closely following throughout this whole ordeal, it appears that there is some semblance of a mask policy going to remain in effect to some degree. I do know that there are businesses that have already put up signs that say something along the lines of America was founded on freedom. You have the freedom to wear your mask or not. So that's kind of the other way this is being approached following the end of that mask mandate. I want you to hear what a couple business owners had to say in their own words. Take a listen.
We're going to continue to do this. I need to protect my employees and I need to protect the community, my customers.
Our number one concern is always just going to be keeping the guests and our employees safe. So no matter what comes out, we're always going to be keeping the same safety standards as we did during COVID or before and after.
Now, there is a concern that with the end of the mandate, there will be some customers feeling emboldened by the governor's decision. Unfortunately, we've already heard an instance of one restaurant in Houston, a Mexican family-owned establishment for more than 30 years, who announced that they would be keeping their mask requirements in place. Following that announcement, they had someone threaten to call immigration on their employees. So certainly an unfortunate turn there. Now that it's finally official today, we'll be keeping a close eye on the feedback going forward. Aaron?
So, Morgan, I also know that a lot of the big city mayors in Texas, almost all of the big city mayors there, don't want this mask mandate lifted. I know Houston in particular has a big concern. What's going on there?
Yeah, Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner has come out and said that this is essentially the absolute wrong time to do this because a recent study that came in just a few days
I don't know how to deal with this, guys. Like, there's no way to deal with this in a country like America where, like, anything and everything can turn into a culture war argument, and people will unironically advocate for hurting themselves without recognizing that they're fucking hurting themselves, and claim that, like, wearing a fucking mask is bad, and even start getting mad at people who are wearing masks, or vice versa. It's so fucking stupid. A bunch of goddamn psychopaths, dude. Like, what the fuck are people in Texas doing? I just don't understand it at all. I have no idea what's going on with Sinatra or whatever. What is this? I don't know what the Sinatra situation is. For those of you who are asking, I legitimately do not know what that is. I live in Texas, Dallas specifically, and we are furious to say the least. Like,
earlier today. Now, Governor Cuomo announced this yesterday.
Yeah, vaccine eligibility is increasing right now as well. Vaccine eligibility is opening up. Vaccine eligibility is opening up to what is this? Vaccine eligibility is opening up to service workers, like people in the fast food industry, people in grocery stores, stuff like that, people that work for grocery stores and whatnot. In the state of California, I was checking it earlier today. If you work for Vons, Ralph's, I think CVS, Walgreens, all of these other places, what you can do is like go to work and get fucking vaccinated. They are going to have like mass vaccination spots available for their delivery drivers and for their grocery store clerks and workers as well. COVID vaccination centers are opening. You're such a hypocrite. Okay. Anyway, 4-month subscriber, by the way. People always say, like, I was reading a comment about how, like, I'm too much of a pussy to ban people in my audience. Like, you know, and I find that rather funny. Like, anyway, great stuff happening in the COVID world. I talked about it before. If you go to Alaska, yeah, Alaska has opened up vaccinations for everyone over the age of 16, by the way. So that's pretty tight. You know, quick little trip to fucking Alaska, get your fucking vaccines up, get your money up, and get the fuck out of that state. Now, Alaska has 3 imports, which is serial killers who are evading the law, oil and gas frackers, and vagabonds of other nature, and now, lastly, COVID tourists. Pretty tight. Good job for Alaska. Alaska is moving up in the world. Must live or work in Alaska to qualify. Anyway. Here, let's see what the fuck our boy Fauci is saying.
Going to be coming out.
Imminently is what he says there. Doc, what kind of guidance would you expect to see about things like travel, about haircuts?
I think these are really important. I think it's important that we roll these changes out kind of, slowly. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Let's start with the things that we know are safe. And a lot of this is about getting real life vaccine data as opposed to just this information from the studies. The biggest piece of that is how much can people who are fully vaccinated transmit this to others? And I think that's the piece that we're really looking to get more data on to guide our relaxation of public health. I think that we're going to see them say that travel is going to be okay for people who are fully vaccinated, but we also have to be measured about the timing of that because it's spring break and we don't want to have the gates unleashed because we know every time that travel starts to spike, we see a spike in virus as well.
I want to ask you also about some reporting from Eli Lilly, that company reporting that its combination COVID antibody therapy has reduced the risk of hospitalization and death by 87% in a study where they looked at high-risk patients. What do you make of that? How promising do you think these results are?
I think we all want some kind of a magic bullet that fixes this. You get a little bit sick, you get the medication, you get better, but we've been burned over and over again by these press releases, whether it be hydroxychloroquine or colchicine, and even one of the components of this antibody cocktail. Initially, we were told this is great, it helps everybody, and then as the rest of the data came out, we were like, it's not actually as good as we think it is. These studies don't have the most robust methodology, and what they're doing is targeting patients who are early in disease with mild symptoms. There's no role for this drug in people who are severely affected by COVID. And the problem here is the numbers and the way they're released. 87% reduction sounds great, but the absolute numbers, we're talking about 15 in the group that didn't get the drug and 4 in the group that did get the drug. That's a very small difference, even though it says 87%. These could be completely random. And this is a high resource, very expensive medication. We need to take that into account. And Aaron, I think the most important thing is we don't know how these monoclonal antibodies affect vaccination later on. So I don't think this is a magic bullet. I don't think this is what's going to fix everything, despite what the press release says. And I eagerly await the actual data so we can get into it.
So much more work to be done on this, so much more to learn about everything around this virus. Dr. Anand Swaminathan, we appreciate your time today. Thanks. 4 jurors are now seated in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis cop accused of murdering George Floyd. NBC News correspondent Shaquille Brewster joins us from Minneapolis now. Shaquille, where are we now? What can you tell us about these jurors?
Well, 4 jurors, as you mentioned, have been seated officially. Now, this is out of about 30 jurors, potential jurors that have been questioned or examined in some way, shape, or form. You know, before the jurors even approached the courtroom, they had to fill out about a 14-page questionnaire, and then we've been watching live stream this juror questioning process. And so far what we know about the makeup of this jury, it is 3 white men who have been seated on this jury. We know one is an auditor, another is a chemist. Most of them have seen this, the video of George Floyd on the ground under the knee of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. They at least have seen a clip of that video. And then there is one apparently biracial woman in her 20s or 30s. She was very enthusiastic about serving on the jury. She said she knew how important this case would be, and she said,
nice, dude. Nice. I'm glad that they found an impartial jury, unaware, untainted by the events that took place at not even an national level, but an international level.
Jurors who are dismissed, and I want you to take a look at one of those moments that we saw in the courtroom yesterday, where the race of the juror and the fact that this juror was being dismissed came up. Look here.
I draw the parallel between juror number 4.
Bro, this shit is so ass cheeks because, like, the entire purpose of the prosecution, or not prosecution, but like the entire purpose of the defense team for Chauvin is to pick the most biased jury. I mean, it goes both ways. It's the same for either side. But the entire purpose they have here is to literally slam pack as many fucking racist dudes onto that jury as possible. Okay, like that's the whole purpose. This is what they do. They do this all the fucking time. That's why that's why trials will oftentimes not take place in the area where the events took place. The most famous one that I can immediately think of was in the 90s. Amadou. What was his name? Amadou Diallo. Amadou Diallo was shot like 40 times outside of his apartment. He's 23 years old. 23-year-old Guinean immigrant named Amadou Diallo was fatally shot by 4 New York City Police Department plainclothes officers. Right? He was shot in. He was shot outside of his apartment, unrelated to any crime whatsoever, okay? He was shot outside of his Bronx apartment, but the trial was moved over to Albany. And the reason why they did that, the reason why they moved the trial over... That's an NBA player? What? No. No, it's not an NBA player. What the fuck are you talking about? There's an NBA player by that name? Anyway, they moved it to one of the most bumfuck parts of they moved the trial to one of the most bumfuck parts of New York State and said that they could only find an impartial jury there, and that was it. Oh my god, if there's one thing I should learn from fucking GTA roleplay, it's just to never read chat.
That they may face.
Remember, in Minnesota, there has never been a white cop charged with the murder of a black person. The only cop in recent years that was ever charged with and convicted of killing someone was a black cop that killed a white woman. If you guys remember, I covered that extensively back in the day. A Somalian immigrant, and he was in the wrong there. And I'm glad that justice was served in that circumstance. And Black Lives Matter wasn't on the side of the black cop, but rather on the side of the victim. So that's how huge this is.
Issues involving race are, quote, concerning. NBC News 4
Hold on, I gotta grab a coffee
Hunter
real
joins
quick.
us now. Molly, do royal watchers seem to be satisfied with that brief statement from the palace?
Very brief, emphasis on brief, Aaron, and it took them 2 full days to come up with that. Look, it depends on who you ask. There are divisions among royal watchers, just as there are among the regular public. Now, I think older royal watchers think that it was a very dignified statement. A lot of people could be heard this morning on various TV and radio programs talking about how they could really hear and see the Queen's hand in that statement. Others felt like it was too little too late. But Aaron, what we wanted to find out today is actually how it played with the public, with the tax-paying public, which I think is what's most important here.
So there's a question then. I mean, a lot of focus has been on the statement saying that the issue...
I think we're done with the royal family. Like, I think I'm done with the royal family news, by the way. I said Albany. I don't know why people are fucking... I don't know if it's like a really irrelevant, dumbass meme within like a small, eclectic group of New Yorkers to joke about like how you're saying it wrong or something, but like absolutely zero people care. No one cares. Don't even fucking tell me that it's the actual capital of New York. No, like literally no one cares. People from Albany do not care. I'm assuming it's like some fucking Rochester dipshits who are like, oh, you're saying it wrong.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. People should realize, even though it might not be as bad as in America, but there's still a lot of racism in this country.
You don't think there's going to be an investigation or anything public?
It's the Queen, man. It's the Queen and her family. I don't think so. I feel like it's just going to be whatever it is. And yeah, they're just going to sweep it under the carpet.
Now, Aaron, we spoke with people all over this.
Okay, I don't care. Okay, let's move away from this. Doesn't fucking matter. It's dumb as shit. The royal family is racist. Shocked to find out. Let's look at some of these highlights from
President.
The conversation in the House. The U.S. House of Representatives over the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. You will find that a lot of Republicans had a lot of things to say because we are giving money to the working poor. So if there's one thing that Republicans hate, it's gay people and trans people and black people existing. But if there's one thing that they hate universally, it is giving poor people money. Okay, so this is a big deal. Guys, I think we need to take some time out today and just think about all of the Republicans, okay? Think about all the Republicans that had to sit idly by and watch the working poor get a crumb, a breadcrumb, a single breadcrumb. This is really probably the most devastating thing Republicans have ever had to do.
Under President Trump, we had the lowest poverty rate since 1959 in 2019. The lowest poverty rate since 1959 came under President Trump.
The irony is, another historically low poverty rate came immediately after COVID started. And the reason for that is literally a stimulus package that they pushed through only because they were allowing corporations to get trillions of fucking dollars or billions of dollars. And this is an extension of that same exact concept, which goes entirely against the worldview of Republicans. Okay? So that's the hilarity here is like the reason why he's not bringing up the historic low poverty rate in 20, I guess, was it 2020? Yeah, when the beginning of COVID. Holy shit, time is just completely a fabricated concept for me now. I just don't have any understanding of what time is anymore. But the reason why he can't bring that up is because that's literally just completely against the Republican worldview, which is like giving money to the poor is actually alleviates poverty.
Thank you, President Trump. Would love
I don't understand what this has to do with the COVID relief here, but anyway.
Speech right off the bat, and to go down this route is only going to create division.
Yeah, it's so divisive to pass a $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief plan, boys. Very divisive. This was the good part that I wanted to show you guys, but it wasn't enough. Dude, House of Representatives, like, you think senators are fucking freaks? Welcome to the House of Representatives. Remember, senators think members of the House are like the real freaks. Like, Mitch McConnell looks down at people in the House of Reps and says like, well, we are the greatest deliberative body and we are the same. We are the adults in the room. I mean, we're not in Congress. We're not in the House of Representatives. Like, so that's why some of the greatest fucking psychopaths exist in this body. Okay. Some of the greatest psychopaths, including that fucking freak from Louisiana, that freak sheriff from Louisiana that I love, whose name I keep forgetting. Like, they are really just some of the grossest, worst people Marjorie Taylor Greene, Clay Higgins, Lauren Boebert, as you all know. I mean, you have some of the best people. Like, you have some of the greatest people. One of the greatest. Jim Jordan is a gigantic piece of shit. Like, it's great. It's great.
Has a marriage penalty in it. I bring it up because I know the strength that Black Lives Matter had in this last election. I know it's a group that it doesn't like the old-fashioned family.
Like, why did you say that, brother? Like, what do you mean by that? You're saying Black Lives Matter is a group that doesn't like the old-fashioned family? Like, what does that take? You know what that take is. You know what he's saying. He's saying black people do not like being in a nuclear family, okay? That's what he's saying. Like, Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with nuclear family. Black people do not have a single issue with the traditional family structure, if you are to consider that to be the healthiest family structure of, like, having an old-fashioned, 4-person household or, 2-parent household. It's great. It's fucking great, dude.
Disturbed that we have another program here in which we're increasing the marriage penalty.
Black people love families. Well, then why did a black man have sex with my wife and break my family? Explain that, liberals. You claim to say black people like families. Well, Deborah fucked a black person and broke our family apart.
Has a marriage penalty in it.
I'm a victim of divorce court, brother. Okay, Stacey Plackett goes after Grothman for his weird comments about Black Lives Matter. Like, this conversation has completely gone off the rails at this point. Like, why are they talking about BLM and, like, black people's interest in having a family or not? In a conversation that is around, supposedly, in deliberations processes that are ongoing on a $1.9 trillion infrastructure / COVID recovery / stimulus package that is being pushed through as a larger budget reconciliation. Why did that have to be talked about? It has nothing to do with anything.
Mr. Speaker, and I hope my colleague from Wisconsin will not leave at this time, as he's talked about Black Lives Matter. How dare you? How dare you?
What are you talking about? We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. Wait, you consider this to be a negative? Like, I don't even know where this is from. I don't know where you found this, but you do recognize that this is literally like community support, right? Like, do you just have not do you lack reading comprehension and therefore assume that, like, that's called, I think it's sarcastic? Oh, okay. I thought sometimes I can't tell. Sometimes I literally can't fucking tell if someone is like criticizing me by, like, saying something actually smart and good, or if it's just a bait. And the reason why I can't tell is because for a lot of people, for a lot of Republicans, their argument straight up revolves around just repeating, like, a smart and understandable talking point or an understandable fucking point of view, but in a sarcastic manner. Like, I can't believe you. I can't believe you would say that poor people need money. Okay, yeah. What's next? We're just going to adopt welfare policies that create social safety nets for the working poor so that they don't have to live in fear that they might die if they lose their jobs. Oh, okay, bro. Sure. Like, that's literally the Ben Shapiro talking point. Just, like, vilify whatever the fuck you're talking about by spicing it up with a sarcastic voice.
You say that Black Lives Matter. Black people do not understand old-fashioned families. Despite some of the issues, some of the things that you have put forward that I've heard out of your mouth in the Oversight Committee, in your own district, we have been able to keep our families alive for over 400 years, and the assault on our families to not have black lives or not even have black families. How dare you say that we are not interested in families in the black community? That is outrageous. That should be stricken down. I was going to talk about the American Rescue Plan. We know that this is going to provide relief to not only black lives, black Americans, but all Americans, that we are interested in children and in their welfare. And at this time, I yield back.
I mean, like, for a lot of people, they just don't give a shit. Like, as long as they think black people are suffering, it's like, yeah, who cares? Yeah, the poor whites deserve to be fucked too.
Calling everything socialism. You know, if Democrats had a potluck picnic, the Republicans would call it socialism.
This is pretty true.
Masking the
Oh, here we go. Let's go. My queen, my fucking woke queen. Let's hear what Boebert had to say.
COVID, like cheap drugstore concealer, masking the nasty truth about Democrat spending. This is nothing more than a trashy spending spree while doing nothing for those who have suffered the most from this China virus.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. These people are such freaks. I love it. I love it. These 20 seconds are all Fox said about the Congress passing the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. Here it is, folks. Remember, I've talked about this before leading up to this moment, so I'm not like, I'm just going over the high points at this stage, but like, Republicans didn't really do any sort of defense against the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill for two reasons. One, because they recognize that it's extremely popular, because the cat's out of the fucking bag, and Donald Trump kind of participated in this without recognizing it. But like, when you give people money, you actually help them a lot. And turns out, oh my God, it's very popular. People fucking love money. People love getting money back from their fucking government, right? So that's supremely important. And congratulations, you fucking played yourself a little bit. They had to give people money. They tried to stop it as best as they could. But it is a very popular policy position to have. So that was one reason why Republicans just kind of shut the fuck up about the $1.9 trillion package, with the exception of, with the notable exception of claiming it was too much or it was too big. I think the most famous defense, or the famous attack against the $1.9 trillion recovery package tied to the budget reconciliation, tied to the budget, was from Ron Johnson, who talked about how, you know, this is exactly, you could go to the fucking moon. If you piled on every single cash dollar bill in the $1.9 trillion, you would be able to, you know, build 7 pyramids with those dollar bills. Like, he literally had like an insane, idiotic fucking take on it. But outside of like how fat and how big and how costly this is, they really haven't criticized it, and they can't criticize it because they recognize that this is a popular policy. However, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't fucking matter, because Democrats are there to save the day. And what that means is Democrats were there to just turn the conversation back to themselves, so that they could be the villains in the conversation. We didn't really hear from Republicans openly, you know, stating that they were against this bill. And the reason why we didn't hear from the Republicans openly stating their distaste for this gigantic bill or whatever was because Democrats instead were there to save the day and take on the role of the spoilers. That's why we had Kristen Sinema in the forefront of the conversation. That's why we had Joe Manchin in the forefront of the conversation. So thank you to Joe Manchin, and thank you to Kristen Sinema for ruining an opportunity to fucking attack Democrats, or attack Republicans, and instead have Democrats look like a bunch of fucking baboons who can't get their shit straight when it comes to helping people and the conditions that they were subjected to because of coronavirus and a massive pandemic. So very cool that they fucking did that. Very cool that they did that. Okay? And Republicans could get away scot-free from this situation.
Monitoring the situation on the House floor with a vote happening just moments ago. And the results are in. The final vote on Biden's COVID aid bill. We're getting word it has passed. We'll have the latest when we return.
All right.
By the way, you can use this on your fucking annoying shitlib friends who constantly talk about like, it's just too hard to pass legislation, sweetie. It's just too hard to pass legislation. Like, when they say dumb shit like this, you can immediately be like, oh, well, that's interesting that you say that. Well, this was the single most important legislative accomplishment for the Biden campaign. We abandoned the $15 minimum wage, which is deeply popular in the entire country. If they say red states don't like $15 minimum wage, you can point to Florida and be like, suck my cock. Florida is actually a red state where the $15 minimum wage was democratically voted on and got more fucking votes than both Joe Biden and Donald Trump did. So, just remember that Democrats literally did not fight hard enough for this. They should have fucking fought harder for this shit. And on top of that, they should not have allowed Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin to take over most of the airwaves as spoilers against this bill, because the entire purpose of this should have been, because you don't need any fucking Republican votes anyway, to push Republicans into taking a position actively so you can straight up cut those ads later down the line for the midterms. Hey, remember when you got only $1,400? Well, that's because of the Republicans who refuse to budge or refuse to bend. They do not want you to have money. Us Democrats want you to have money. Vote for Democrats. But Democrats, of course, didn't do that because they're fucking idiots. Anyway.
$0.9 trillion going out the back door. Coming up next, the CDC accused of...
As promised, we've been...
Anyway, bro, I need help. Why do some of these conservative freaks do it for me, man? Like, damn, bro, why am I such a coomer for these brainless? Okay, shut
monitoring
up. Yes, Congress has passed a historic piece of legislation approving $1.9 trillion stimulus package that is expected to lift many Americans. And here's Fox News talking about Graham. Terrorists could enter the U.S. unchecked. They're not even talking about this because, again, culture war is better for them. If Donald Trump had done this, you would be hearing about how incredible Donald Trump is, how he's the most incredible fucking congressperson, sorry. He's the incredible statesman. He is so good. He cares about the fucking poor so much, and that Democrats are actually fake socialists, and Donald Trump is the real socialist, but the good kind of socialist, shit like that. Anyway, luckily there was a child credit that was added into the bill overall. Yes, that is a big win. I believe that some of the poorest families with 2 children could be getting up to $5,400. So that's a gigantic deal for a family that's in the bottom percentile of wealth. So it is pretty good. Now, having said that, before I get back to the news broadcast, I have to say it is top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break, folks. So I'm going to run my first ad of the day right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and NBs, it's top of the fucking hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break right now. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with your Twitch Prime. Get those fucking primes out, ladies and gentlemen. It gives you one free ad-free experience per favorite Twitch broadcaster. If you connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, here's the ad now.
At what they were able to get passed. They are touting how big this legislation is and how much it's going to help people. Of course, there's those direct stimulus checks of $1,400.
Family of 4 gets $6,000 to $7,200.
People are going to receive monthly as well. There's a lot more money in here.
Hey, Celestial Nisa, thank you for the 10. Gifted.
$300 a week in that federal benefit. There is $125 for K through 12 education. There's $14 billion for vaccine distribution. There's $50 billion for testing and contact tracing. There's $25 billion for rental relief, $39 billion for child care assistance. So there is a lot of money in this bill for a lot of people, and that's exactly what Democrats wanted.